Well, outside of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some funkin' songs. Rank them songs. Songs gonna and rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. Meaner than a junkyard dog. I had to go back. I was like, maybe we can update it to that, like, because we're now into songs that we both have. But then Cody got mad because I changed the lyrics, and I was like, I gotta keep that aspect the same because that keeps him in a good mood. We need that.
Yeah, there's two people on this show that you have to keep on a good mood. That's Cody and the drunk guy from last time, Mr. Producer Man. So with that being said, okay, cool. That's great, Mr. Producer Man. Thanks.
I like that guy.
Well, with that being said, welcome back to Off Our Stones. God damn it. Basically, we are creating our own top 500 list, Brooklyn and I, and we have finally hit the section of the list where we both had the song on our list somewhere.
Yeah. This portion of the list gets really interesting too because like the whole like last 13 episodes we've been really kind of fighting for our own individual choices, and now that we're here, it's not so much about like why the song is great. Like we're more so about like list jockeying and or like list placements and whatnot and like the overall rankings.
So Cody, however, still has 5 opportunities to get rid of something because he's still got those 5 vetoes in his back pocket.
I don't think 5's enough, but it is what it is at this point. My God.
Well,
you
Cody,
had what 2%? 2% of songs you could veto?
Yeah, that's insane. With how much trash takes you guys have, I should have started with 20. Like that's just crazy. Like 500 songs and I get to take out 10 of them. That's nutty. But hey, the rules are the rules. I agreed to it. So.
Well, Cody, funny you should mention that. Yep. Brooklyn and I talked.
Okay.
And we decided that Brooklyn and I will also be getting 1 veto each in case there's something that we put on our list that we kind of regret putting on there in general.
What the freak is this? This is BS.
You still have your 5.
I would call this like an aging sort of factor. Like when this list got finalized, for me personally, it was the end of 2022. Since we have made the show and I've like listened to some of Andrew's songs, and then I've also like fallen in love with other ones. Like I already want to readjust some things.
Oh, are we also going to talk about my other new power that I get?
I was about to ask if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one.
So I get 5. So I only get 5 vetoes, which you both get in a veto. I should just automatically get another veto just because that was not a rule provided to me.
We'll see.
Well, the thing is, I asked him, was like, do these count on Cody's vetoes? And he was like, no. And then I was like, sigh, fine.
Yeah, I can't use it against me. But
we'll see.
The other one is inside the episodes, I can take a song and move it to what part of the playlist that I believe it should go in that list. So I can't take it out completely, but I can say, you know what? This deserves higher up because you guys are morons. And we're going to find out how big of morons you guys are with this list. So.
Well, we'll send you
I just want to remind people, Proud Mary, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, some of those songs that we mentioned last episode, these songs are higher. Just want that on the record.
Higher in the overall list.
Oh, no. Yeah, higher on the overall, which is the only thing that fucking matters, Bar. Because if it was, you guys would be giving me 500 individual songs. But no, this is a list, and y'all screwed it up.
I just can't wait for you to see... I just can't wait for you to see the score on some of these songs, because like I think some of the placements here are like either smack on like within 2 or 3 spots of each other, or they're just so polarizing.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Well, there's one song this week that I'm very just curious about and how high you both had it. So,
Well, let's get started then.
is it going to be one at a time, I guess, now? Because
One
there's
at
no
a time
pairing?
now. One at a time now.
Okay. All right. Let's roll.
So the first song, being number 230 on our combined list now,
It's
will be
2:30.
Enter Sandman by Metallica, being at 487 on my list and 462 on Brooklyn's list. Kick-ass song. Kick-ass song. That opening guitar is just like this great ominous guitar line, and then Lars Ulrich's drums come in and just add
his
like
floor
this.
toms in particular.
Yes, his floor toms in particular. Adding a great driving energy to it, and then the chugging guitars come in, and it's just this great dark eerie piece. It's almost a horror song, just like in general, and it's just got this great energy and this great atmosphere to it. James Hetfield, one of the best songs that he sounds on vocally. Yeah, it's a fantastic rock piece.
Yeah, if you want to get a sense of Metallica in kind of like a line, like go to the bridge of this song, like hush little baby, don't say a word, and never mind that noise you heard. It's just a space under your bed, in your closets, in your head. And like, man, we can talk about the pop culture like relevance to this. Like Cody, absolutely, like Mariano Rivera's walkout song. Like, how often was it like, all right, bottom of the ninth, he has 2 runs to work with here. Let's go get this done.
And then you just hear ding 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 ding.
What's crazy is I think it was on one of the late night talk shows. I think it was Howard Stern. And they were talking about when they were making this lick, because it was originally just going to be like the once through and then the ending. But then James Hetfield was like, no, like do that 3 times and then go to the end. So it's always cool to see like where riffs start. And it's like, oh, because of this transition, they became much more catchy.
Cody, what are your overall thoughts on the placement of the song on the list, the song itself, just anything that's in your head?
I mean, I would be lying if I say Enter Sandman being at 230 seems right. Where you guys had it at both 400s, like high 400s, I would say it's like a 300 song. Like, if you think about it, like the story it tells, the sound, if that's your type of music, like I can understand why like 40 and 50-year-old dads were like, you don't understand Metallica. Like Metallica was it. Like hearing this is a nightmare song for me. I hate this song on a baseball level. I never have listened to the song really outside. I've listened to it occasionally, but once I became into baseball and having to play Mo in base, like that sound and the bullpen doors opening is like nightmares. Like, don't forget about that sound you heard. Yeah, it's gonna be it's over. Like, it's more. Yeah, we got him at one point, but more times than not, we didn't. So, Enter Sandman, the best song ever used in baseball, without a doubt. Like, it's the best song ever used in baseball.
Yeah.
And it was time to go to sleep for a lot of people. So, 230. It's kind of funny how you both had it like barely making your 500, and it's here at 230. So. Above your guys' ones and like your one. There you go. So that's interesting.
The bullshittery of this list.
Yeah,
that's the way the cookie crumbles. Real fast, check out the Rina Sawayama cover of this song. Dope as hell. Awesome.
I really didn't expect this to be the very first song. I've had my thoughts of where I rank. I should just pre-rank and just see where I think they're going to go, but I did not see this being the first one out the gate, because there's one that should have been the first out the gate, but whatever.
Interesting. Would it possibly be number 229? Please, Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes.
Nope.
At 463 for me and 465.
Wow, you old fuckers in luck.
I think this may have been the closest one we had on our list.
I think there's one other song that gets.
Did you guys ever
close.
match?
No, never
No,
matched.
we came this is one.
I mean, you're within 2, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Brooklyn, let's have you start us off on this one.
I've been pretty hard on the Wall of Sound style, and I think this is one that just smacks it out of the park. Just the sense of glee that it has, and like how she kind of dissents as she says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, Mr. Postman." The beat in it is great. I think this is one that is often mimicked frequently, and it can become cookie cutter almost, and people kind of forget what makes it so lively. But yeah, that's what I would say.
In fact, it was mimicked pretty recently when Portugal the Man basically interpolated the chorus for the chorus of Feel It Still. So this song is just catchy as all hell. It's so catchy. Like that chorus instantly sticks in your head for at least 10 minutes after you're done listening to the song.
Oh yeah.
I think that the Marvelettes sound great on here. The way that their voices play off of each other is really nice. I think the production is just really solid. It's just a super catchy, really well written song with lyrics that are a little dark when you think about them.
There's a lot of songs that we are going to talk about today that have some dark lyrics.
Oh, we'll get to the one.
Yeah.
Cody, can you hear us? Cool. Let's just talk about this. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Sorry. I had a thought. Like, again, I'm not very hip, but I think this has been like put into a sound on TikTok, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I think it's been recently, so I was like, oh, that's fair. I like that style of music. Like back then, like I wish like this was more popular kind of music now. It'd come off corny and weird if they did it now, but
I mean, Meghan Trainor tried to do that back in like 2014.
Yeah,
it's true. Maybe we should have tried somebody else.
Ollie Burns was right there, people.
She wasn't that bad. She wasn't that bad. She had a couple good ones.
Like,
what's that?
Didn't she basically copy his song?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And they called but whatever. Yeah. I have no complaints with this. It's 229, so it should be in 460 if it's going to be on the list. But we're at 229, so is what it is. But it's not a bad song.
That's just math. So,
hate it. Viola style.
Let's see how this compares to number 228 on our combined list. Party Up by DMX. Number 452 for me and 472 for Brooklyn. All right, come on. The energy in this song is fucking nuts. Like that beat, I think it's Swiss Beat who made this one, goes fucking hard. That whistle is such an excellent touch. And then DMX is he's doing that mad dog kind of like snarling attack on this song. And it's just fucking awesome. There are some lines on here that are just... If you're the person on the opposite end of this, that's just rough. The whole, I love my baby mama, I'll never let her go. Just instant, just blow to the face. This one's just downright dirty, but the energy behind this is just so incredibly contained.
I always say about like opening lyrics, especially like into the verse, like if I got to bring it to you, cowards, it's gonna be quick. All you men's up in the jail before, suck my dick. What a way to just kind of enter a song. I think it's the trailer for Eight-Legged Freaks or like some 2000s horror action movie. Like this is kind of the perfect song for like those kind of trailers, or like Mike, I guess, when he's singing it in the car. But yeah, a 2000s party staple. Like if you were at a club, this was kind of like what In the Club was before Into Club ever came out. I feel. But yeah, whenever I was making the list, this was the first of like gatekeepers or bookmarks. Like I would get to a song, like I'd bring a song up, and it's like, all right, Party Up is the first thing. Like if you are you better than this, then you can move on.
It's actually one of the last things I added to my list, and then it kind of just like moved into the position that it was in. Because I heard it just randomly, and we had talked about the song before. It's on the current Rolling Stone list.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had forgotten about it for a second. And then it came on, of all places, at work. This was before the this was before the customers came in. This was before the customers came in. We should have left it on for that.
There's some freaking like 10-year-old kid with his mom there. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
But who hasn't used that line though? Like who hasn't at least in passing been like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind?
Well, I mean the whole acting a fool thing, like isn't that the whole shacking a fool like in the NBA? Like then they like kind of transform that into like his kind of like big catchphrase.
Huh? I don't watch the NBA that much,
no.
So like I'm completely lost on this.
The NBA heads will probably correct me on it, but I thought like Shaq had like a Shaq had a fool or something. It was kind of like the equivalent of getting lost in the NFL.
It's on TNT, and when players made mistakes, it was called Shaq and a fool.
Oh, so like, come on, man.
Yes, the exact version of "Come on, man."
Come on, man.
Cody, what are your thoughts on "Party Up" by DMX?
So, question for Brooklyn: when you mentioned what happened, what scene were you talking about in the car?
Like Mike.
Like Mike.
Yeah.
It's the one that clicks to me with this song more than anything. Like it's the Like Mike song. I watched it when I was young. Like Mike is one of the
Mike song.
Oh, it was because they were both in the car, just like and like okay, like And by the way, Bar, if you ever say you're about to make me lose my mind up in here, I hope you never say that because I thought it was going to sound white coming out of your mouth. It sounded like white out. White. So,
Cody, I am sponsored by Clotted Cream.
I believe it. Bailey's Irish Cream is definitely sponsoring you. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I mean, fine. 228 is crazy. Like 228 is like ludicrous. Like
I kind of agree. No, it's DMX, not Ludacris.
I know. See, I even said it, and I knew you were gonna say it, but like
I'm predictable.
You're the worst. But like this, I had this like around that time frames with Ludacris, Nelly, DMX, like that type of music.
Rule.
Yeah, Ja Rule, like murder. It was just like that's the time frame. So yeah, it fits for that time. Should it be 228? No, but list.
But should
Inner Sandman too. It's beating Inner Sandman, which is wild.
Do you think it should be in like the 450 to 500? Okay.
Like this would be almost like a perfect like 500 song. Like
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna start it, but we're not gonna go crazy with it.
No, I still stand by that the 500 song should be Tequila.
No, that's true. That's true too.
Yeah.
So
because nothing gets a 6-year-old to say tequila and have no clue.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 227. This one's going to be rough. Number 227 is Ku Klux Klan by Steel Pulse. First of all, I had it at 420.
What a line! What a title!
First of all, I had this at 420. Brooklyn had this at 488. First things first. Fuck the Klan. So this is a reggae song. For those of you who have never heard this song, that may be a little surprising. But it's a reggae song by a UK reggae band. So it is just a scathing indictment of the Klan. Deservedly so. But it is just done in a way that is just so solid. Reggae is one of those genres for me where if you don't do something to really catch my ear, whether it be with the lyrics, the instrumentation, the production, or something, it doesn't always click for me. This one does. And I think it's the subject matter and how they tackle it.
I think the song is incredibly smart. In terms of it can be deceptively like looked over. Like if somebody was to kind of hear this on the radio for the first time and then like, oh, like what are your thoughts on this? It's like, oh, like well the beat was simple, but I didn't really kind of get like what was going on. And then you go back and you look at the lyrics and it's like, oh, like it's similar to like your pumped up kicks or like previously on the list, like Sail Away, like the Randy Newman song. These like where the beat is saying one thing, but the lyrics are almost telling an entirely different story. And I think it gives it a nice amount of depth when you go back to the song and just like listening to the story because the beat is so simple.
One thing I do want to add on to what you're saying is that the instrumentation, there's a lot of tension in that instrumentation. And I think that really, really elevates the lyrics, and the vocal performance on this is so good. I need to listen to more Steel Pulse, having heard this the first time when we were doing the first season of the show. Was an experience that I need to dive deep into when it comes to the band. Cody?
If you would have been in the car when my face heard Ku Klux Klan and I heard a steel drum, I was very shocked. Even though the name, Steel Pulse, that made sense, but overall I went, huh? No clue. Dug it though. Interesting. Basically, what I always suggest, you got to fix your branding, all right, guys? Like, I understand, but that's a hard title to, like, get anybody on board with. But I get why,
Yeah.
Like, but, yeah. I mean, I'm glad also you stood up and said, fuck the Klan, because, I think there's it should be universal, but, proud.
Solidarity. I'll say it one more time. Fuck the Klan.
Solidarity.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
Once again,
shouldn't be 227. It's a fine song, but I didn't love it as much as I think you guys like it. But it's nice to have a list with diversity, like different sounds. Not a lot of reggae songs in the earlier half. So, yeah, interesting.
When I think of this song, I think, man, 3 white guys need to share their opinion.
Absolutely.
It's what the people want.
Yeah. This is what's gonna get the views.
We get the people going.
All right. Let's move on to something lighter, something a little easier. Fuck it, it's Redbone by Childish Gambino. Number 435 on my list and 451 on Brooklyn's list. Brooklyn.
Cody will understand this. I almost pulled a Dan Skip Allen for this. We have this record in the collection somewhere. We threw it on semi recently. But I love the sound in this. The synth is wet almost. And then that's kind of how it sounds, but like with the wah, with the wah pedal and whatnot, and then his falsetto is really weird if you're used to like his rapper style, because like Bonfire almost made the list for me, but I think just the production and kind of how it takes a shift, especially like after I think the second chorus, and it just drops down and it really kind of drives the rest of the song forward as when it gets into that next chorus. But yeah, this is like very high concept that just unexpectedly paid off.
Yeah, so This was a song that when we talked about it on season 1 of the series, I was a little confused why this not only made the list, but why this would be the Childish Gambino song to make the list. And then it really grew on me a lot more. I already liked the song to begin with. I thought it was a great song. And then it just kind of aged really well. Lyrically, I think this has aged phenomenally, considering its subject. But the one thing that I really love most about this song is that outro. I think if you asked me to name some of the best 2 seconds of music, it's when that piano comes in and it's just like such a great little touch. I think Ludwig Göransson was still working with Childish Gambino when he made this song, and it is just really well produced, really well written, and I think the reason it was as low as it is on my list is because sometimes the falsetto can get a little grating, but outside of that, no, it's just a really fantastic song.
Yeah, this I think there's 3 songs that you could almost put in this place because there are different eras of Childish Gambino that can be, I think that can be celebrated. This one, Bonfire, they're already talking about. But if you want something kind of in the middle, I think 3005.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Absolutely. Well, 3005 was another consideration. Got taken off, but I was like, man, what if this was made in 2014 or something?
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Cody. Get his thoughts on this song.
Can't ever hit pause in the time thing. I'm not a fan personally. I think the song's fine. This is the one song I'm 226. This is crazy. Sure. Again, I know it's the math, and I know we're going to be battle all week. These are 400s.
Oh, get ready for some of the other songs that made it this high.
Yeah, these are your 400s for a reason. It's fine as an intraday, but now we're sitting here, and I know what has passed. I've passed 13 weeks of great songs that just got to be flattened, and now Childish Gambino is sitting here at 226. I was fine. I think it's I enjoyed it for the most part, but would it be something I just go to? No. So
just think of this list or think of this series as a croissant, where the first half was really good butter, but then this one that didn't have as much butter. But I think as you get to the bottom half, there's going to be more added on. So I think if you just suffer through this 2 to 3 weeks of not great.
Should I tell him that I don't like croissants?
What?
That's fine.
That's a trash. What?
They're fine.
No. You guys are
Croissants
both
fine.
A biscuit over croissant.
Biscuit over
any day
croissant.
of the week and twice on Sunday.
Every day.
I agree that biscuits are delicious, but when you go to a bakery and you get a croissant and you can see the layers and it flakes off and
hey, guess what else you can see the layers
silly.
in? A biscuit.
I disagree. So
okay, hold on.
No.
Brooklyn, I got one question for you.
You ever have biscuits and gravy?
I was about to say, can you have a croissant with gravy?
No, but no. You can have with a croissant. You can have ham and cheese.
You can have
your ham and cheese biscuit, brother.
Also, but with the biscuit though, there's two different things because there's the knead and there's the no knead method. There are bakers here that insist that you don't knead your biscuit dough or over mix it. I agree with you guys. I do like the layers at times, but think about a soft biscuit with strawberry jam. Biscuits and gravy is cement on sandpaper. If I'm gonna have a biscuit, I want something sweet so that I can be buttery.
This is why you're the hat of America and haven't done anything great. Shut your mouth.
We made poutine.
So there's the knead and the no knead method, but have you heard of the white gravy or dark gravy method?
I mean, I think it has to be dark gravy. White gravy. White gravy isn't gravy. That's just sausage and cream.
Moving on.
Oh, I'm in pain.
Moving on to number.
Jeez.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Producer Man. Jesus. Number 225 on the overall list is going to be Bizarre Love Triangle by New Order. Number 448 on my list and number 429 on Brooklyn's list. I think the thing about this song that really works for me is the fluttering synthesizer. I think that fluttering synthesizer adds such an interesting, intricate layer to the instrumentation of this song because it's a love song, like plain and simple. It's a love song, and I think that fluttering synthesizer really captures the kind of like, butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling of being in love. I think it's just super tight, really well produced. It's not my favorite New Order song, but it is a damn good New Order song.
So with this song, we kind of get into an interesting like subsection of the list, and it's one that I feel is even underrepresented for my own. It's songs that were just on the radio consistently growing up, and like maybe it was the intro that kind of got killed by it, or like this song in particular. But there was another one as well that we were talking about in the chats. Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears. That and this one were a great example of radio hosts being like, hey, so-and-so's bus is going to be half an hour late. Oh, hey, let's listen to Bizarre Love Triangle, and then just cut out arguably like one of the best parts of the song. I think that part just does such an essential job of getting you into the tone and the atmosphere of it. I love the bass in it, and then like the synth and just how they kind of balance each other out. I think this is the first one that I would say, like coming back to it now, this could arguably be higher. I always just like this, like whenever I was making my list, I was like, this one's okay, but when I look at everything else, this was the hardest one that I was like, I can't put the song to the title. I have to like click on it to remember it. But like now that I've kind of come around to it, it's like, all right, we can start moving this up.
Yeah. It's also a song that just like could have aged really badly. Like it could have sounded incredibly dated by this point, but it holds up really, really well. And I think that's a testament to New Order, just as a band and, their discography as a whole. Cody, what do you think of Bizarre Love Triangle? Too high, too low?
What do you think?
Our list.
What do you think?
This is not a Cody
Not
song.
a Cody song.
This song sucks. What
Really?
are you doing, guy? I hated it. What is that sound? What is that sound that you guys were complimenting?
Like a synth?
That thing should be the bottom of the ocean tomorrow.
Wow!
I hate that thing.
I hate what you're saying, but I also love what you're saying, because if you're going that route, then that usually means that you probably hate a lot of 80s, like just 80s pop in general, or like 80s new wave.
Maybe. That thing sucked. It's not
like
veto worthy because like why waste my time on this? Like I have go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say like 70s was kind of the time where it's like, hey, let's take this bass genre or these bass genres and let's expand them out into all these different ones. Then the 80s was like, hey, we have this instrument that's really popular with casual fans, and people like to dance to it. All right, let's throw it into literally fucking everything.
It was just not my cup of tea. Like
when this took over Eddie Van Halen, I was like, okay, we're going a little too far with this. Jump's a great song, but
okay, I guess I could see the correlation there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we know how you are. You like this is the synthesizer is like your best friend. So You scream 80s. You scream.
No,
80s.
that's a that would be or just like a bass guitar in general. I'm a sucker for like a disco bass line.
Not you. I'm talking about Bar.
Oh,
Bar loves his little 80s. He was born in the wrong decade.
Arguably, yes.
We know. You like Hawaiian shirts.
I do like Hawaiian. Who doesn't like
do you not, Cody? Do you not have a Hawaiian shirt just ready at all times?
Not one.
Not even ironically.
What did you wear to the Barbie movie then? Like normal clothes?
One, I didn't go to the Barbie movie, and two, would not have worn a Hawaiian shirt.
No, I was about to say, why is a Hawaiian shirt the thing that you go, that's what I'm wearing to the Barbie movie?
Because that was the closest thing that I had to be like looking like Ken.
Was it groundbreaking for you?
Was it groundbreaking? Yeah. It was sharp. I like the script.
Some people think it's the funniest movie ever. They're crazy. All
right, let's move on. To number 224 on our combined list. Why didn't it work? There we go. I Put a Spell on You by Screamin' Jay Hawkins. I had this at 405. Brooklyn had this at 448. Brooklyn, you go first.
So yeah, a trend that you guys have already probably figured out. A lot of these songs that are in this like little 2 to 3 week section, we've already had, like I already talked about on the previous lists. Like they're the ones that are like, okay, they're on the list and they can deservedly stay. I just love the pacing of this and the beat, like the dun 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 dun, and then you have these like he's hitting like a cowbell or like it's some sort of like thick percussive instrument, but it's like the dun 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 dun. And I just like that kind of like pacing on it, and then his voice is just so like eerie and haunting, and like obviously the opening lyrics of like I put a spell on you, and he's called Screaming Jay Hawkins for a reason. It's been talked about to death. I'm gonna utter the same. I'm gonna repeat the same thing that Cody has said already on the show. I think 224 is too high for this. We need to figure out a better way to like average out these songs, because the math, I think, and like the math and where they end up, I think between all three of us, they almost like this doesn't seem right.
It might actually be higher on my list if I had redo my list.
Really?
Yeah, I just love that pocket that this song has. Brooklyn, what is it called when the syncopation? The syncopation on this song is just utterly fantastic. The other instrument that you didn't bring up is the piano that comes in like the middle of that. I just love the eerie voodoo-esque kind of atmosphere that this song has. There's just a lot of tension in it. And Screamin' Jay Hawkins is going just off the fucking rails. There's an urban legend, and I don't remember if this was true or not, that Screamin' Jay Hawkins and the rest of his band were just out of their fucking mind when making this song. I can't remember if they were like on cocaine or alcohol. It was like something like that. But
cocaine would absolutely make sense.
It's a hell of a drug.
No, it's not. No.
But yeah, I think that it's just for what it's going for, that haunting, tense, like New Orleans jazz kind of feel, it does a fantastic job for what it's going for. Yeah. Cody, go ahead, Brooklyn.
No. I was going to do the same thing you did.
Oh, well, then go ahead.
Why didn't we pick Hocus Pocus version? Don't.
Hey, Kyoko. It's been a
minute. I can't wait to see City of Stars later on this list. Okay, anyway. I I love the song overall. Like it's the best version of it. Like he is going all out on it. Too high.
Okay.
But I think this song needs appreciation, so that's fine on the list.
It's also one of the most covered songs of all time.
That makes sense.
So literally CCR, Annie Lennox, like every high school marching band at some point. So, all right.
Alrighty.
Cool. With that being said, we're going to move on to number 223. Cody, I have a question for you, actually. You said that there was a song that you thought for sure was going to be at the bottom of this section.
Uh-huh.
Have we hit that song yet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I thought Childish Gambino was going to cap the list at this point.
Okay.
I thought it was the newest. I thought you guys would probably make it consideration on the list, but not like.
Oh, baby, there's a younger song on our list that's way higher. So
I'm trying to remember what that song
let me
is.
pull my bow and arrow out and ready to shoot. I hate the youngins.
Number 223 on our combined list is "Walk on the Wild Side" by Lou Reed. Number 446 for me and 392 for Brooklyn. Brooklyn, since you actually had this song ranked higher, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I'm a sucker for like innovative bass lines. It's surprisingly simple. One slides down, the other slides up. That's all that really needs to happen. Lou Reed's kind of like it's sing song. He's not really like singing notes, but it's more kind of like rhythmic. And then you get into like after the chorus, that kind of little like break in between the do. There's a really cool like sax solo in this that I think gets forgotten about. And then you get into the actual like meat and potatoes of the song. And considering when this was made, this would have been extremely taboo. But I think now, and like it's extremely relevant now, especially here with it being Pride Week. But I just think it's I admire the push, I guess, for the song to be made.
I am muted. Yes, I know. Brooklyn kind of said everything that I would have brought up, and I think the one thing that I do want to add on to this is Lou Reed's mellow vocals. It's that Devil Wears Prada effect where it's so soft spoken that it makes you listen to it more. And these are exactly the kind of lyrics where that should be the intention. Because it describes a part of New York City at the time that was, for lack of a better term to come into my head right now, underground. Wasn't really well known in the popular sphere. And it's honestly, there's still some topics in there that are taboo to this day. So I think that this song has aged very, very well. I do think that this is going to sound bad, but it's a little overly simplistic for me, which is why it's kind of where it's at. But I cannot deny that it is a great song.
Yeah.
So, Cody, what are your thoughts on "Walk on the Wild Side" by Lou Reed?
I didn't love it overall. I thought it was fine. I think it is simplistic to a degree where I don't like love it. I understand how Brooklyn feels like as a musician and likes the bass line and stuff like that and finds enjoyment from it. It sounds a little underground, like what you were saying. I just wasn't something that would very hook me and keep me hooked. It was fine to listen to, but it should have been 446. I don't think it should have cracked into the threes, but that's where my voice is. Yeah, but yeah.
You're muted again, Andrew.
He doesn't know how to unmute. He's an old man.
I'm old.
Grandpa, stop it.
Brooklyn, do you remember where this song placed in the Rolling Stone list, or like an idea?
This would have been. I think they have this higher.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I think it's like 350s. I want to say 350 to 300.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up during the next section because I'm curious now. But with that being said, let's move on to number 222 on our list. That being Rebel Girl by Bikini Kill. I had it at 348. Brooklyn had it at 485. This song fucking slaps. That chugging guitar is so goddamn good. I need to remind myself of the lead singer's name, but she fucking kills it on this song. Like, her delivery is so raw and wild.
Kathleen Hanna.
Thank you, Kathleen Hanna. Kathleen Hanna's vocals on this are just like so powerful and gritty, and it really does like have that like punk mentality of that I don't give a shit, this girl fucking slaps. And I think that it's just like a really cool song about what basically boils down to friendship. This is a song about wanting to be friends with the person who they think is the coolest person in the area. Go ahead,
I think this is more than just about friends. When you get into like even the chorus, like "Rebel Girl, you're the queen of my world," I think I want to take you home. I want to try on your clothes. And then there's other ones. I mean, yeah, I guess, okay. In the last verse, like I can see where you are. Like soul sister, rebel girl, come and be my best friend.
She is my best friend, yeah.
But I remember putting this on the list, and I was like, it's cool, I respect it. But if somebody was to be like, hey, this is a little stagnant in terms of the beat, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I think you have a bit of a point. Where I've come from that though, I think that this is the perfect song for like Monday morning. You're trying to wake up. You're just like, fuck this. This sucks. But you have to get through it. And this is kind of the. It gives you like the ambition to carry on for the rest of the day. Like that girl thinks she's the queen of the neighborhood. She's got the hottest trike in town. Like there's a level of like jealousy kind of at the start that I think could work. But yeah, I think 485. I think 45 is a bit too low nowadays. I think 348 though is still too high. I think 400 would be the kind of the perfect kind of medium. Like this is a top 75% song.
I'm actually still very happy with my placement of this song.
Yeah.
I just want to bring this up because I found this out a little while ago. Remind me of the singer's name again?
Kathleen Hanna.
Kathleen Hanna. She's the one who wrote Kurt Cobain "Smells Like Teen Spirit" in his dressing room and inspired him to name "Smells Like Teen Spirit" the song that it is. I think that that's fucking cool. But let's go to Cody. I have a guess about something.
Oh, are we guessing something here?
Well, I definitely am guessing something, and I'm almost like 90% sure. Yeah, 80% sure that I'm right.
I think this is a Cody song.
I don't think that this is.
This song, nope. This song sucks.
Yeah.
I don't. Nope. Don't get it. 485, fine.
Women being friends, I don't get it.
Fuck it, no. I don't. I don't even care about the lyrics. I don't play the song. Listen, I just think we need to do a tribute special already of the fallen things before these episodes. Because holy shit, is it
Just
going to
play
get
some
worse?
Sarah McLachlan.
Like,
I love
is it
how
going to
in
get
like
worse?
I just love how in season 2 where it was like, man, California Dreamin', and then all these songs. So we get to this season.
Like,
it's
if I was
section
Proud Mary and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, this has to be feel like how it feels to be like a Blue Jays fan watching the Dodgers just pounce on their ass in the ninth inning for 4
You know what the
runs.
worst part is? I went to bed and that game was 3-2, and I woke up the next morning and I was like, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Or if the Red Sox played the Blue Jays the rest of the season and we're 7-0 against them. Like, it's just, they're like, what happened? We have a young core. We were doing well. When did we suck?
It's like when the Colts played the Vikings last season.
We have a bunch of old people on the Yankees. Why aren't we good? We can't run. We need to be better. We are terrible trash.
Yeah, not so great without Aaron Judge, are you? New York.
Oh, his toe hurts. Oh, you have 25 other people. They can't swing a bat.
What happened to John Carlos Stanton?
If they don't walk Judge when he comes back, shame on everybody. So they should just try to. Yeah. He shouldn't have to swing a bat at all. Like, go ahead, hit, try.
Welcome back to Off the Wall.
But this song was like John. This song was like John Carlos Stanton trying to go from second to home. It was just like dead on arrival. Sorry.
Boo. All right.
348. 348.
Yeah, because this song fucking slaps. All right. At least it's still here.
Inner Sandman slaps.
Number 221. Cody's going to be happy at least. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Brooklyn Vale.
Oh no.
454.
Oh no.
This is just because you hate a certain person.
I mean, is it just me?
I mean, no, but I think the 454 is that hate showing up.
No, this isn't the only Bad
Yes, I know the other song that will be appearing. I tried because I was going to use it as a video if it wasn't. So.
But I think this is actually a great song because this is the first time that that both a song made both of our lists that wasn't on either previous list. Like this is the first time that we're
first
like,
one
right,
so far.
Yeah, this is this time we both agree that like yes, this needs to be talked about. One of the greatest intros, and if you are familiar with Meatloaf and like Paradise by the Dashboard Light in particular, he just goes a mile a minute, and that's where he's best. The amount of words that he's able to just kind of pump out, and this as well. The guitar in this as well. I think it's just a great little accent to that very like heavy piano sort of beat. I think this is an overlooked song on the album. It's very easy to go to the other ones that we'll probably be talking about later.
It's also the name of the album. So this should be higher. This should have been higher on my list. Having listened to it again, it's just an amazing 10-minute epic, and it flies by. But I still remember like so many little bits and moments of it, like the revving motorcycle towards the last third of the song, that little piano solo that comes in like immediately after that one guitar solo. And like a sinner before the gates of hell, like the wild theatricality just blended with like these bombastic lyrics. This song is dope as all fucking hell. Meatloaf is killing it. Jim Simon's writing is just awesome. This should have been higher on my list, and I'm really mad that it wasn't and that it's here.
I'm gonna defend my placement a little bit and reference a song that we had already talked about that was only on my list. I think Foreplay / Long Time does this style like a little bit better. I agree that Meatloaf is. I agree. Just hold up for a second. I have some substance in this. I think that Meatloaf is doing.
Clip for this episode.
I think that Meatloaf is the better like theatrical, like he's giving a better performance. But when you go into like the intro and how it kind of sets that tone, I think that does it a little bit better, and that's why I have it this low. Could it be higher? Yeah, but I think it even just making the list is good enough on its own, considering that there was no Meatloaf on the current list at all.
Let's just go to Cody.
Sorry, I didn't want to listen to you guys. I just want to listen to Bad Out of Hell. I mean, is there a better man? If you just give him 10 minutes or like a lengthy time of a song, can he just turn out some just epic shit?
As long as Jim Simon is helping him write it, then yes.
Shut up. Okay? No one asked you. But I love this song. I absolutely love this song. It should be higher, but I'm okay with 222. 221. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
379 sounds like somebody that understands Meatloaf. 454, somebody told him a grudge.
Sounds like somebody who understands Meatloaf. Sounds like someone who burnt Meatloaf.
At the end of the day, music.
Man, hey, nothing wrong with burnt
movies.
Meatloaf, like burnt ends.
Music. What was it? Movies.
Music.
TV.
Oh
music.
yeah.
All right. Moving on to number 220. We're an hour in.
Did TV ever end up coming back? Like he I know he posted about it.
Who?
Like Tim Smith, like the guy that ran TV.
Oh, definitely never came back.
No. Okay.
All right. 220. Yeah, by Usher featuring Ludacris.
Son of a bitch.
As I said, I put Bad Out of Hell too low, considering I had this at 363, and Brooklyn had this at 458.
Oh my god, you have 363?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace up, 8 down.
Peace.
All
right, I'll get what I have. I'll get what I have to say to this. Lil Jon is kind of like. Or no, sorry. I guess you have it higher. You go first.
Yeah. Lil Jon's production on this is exactly the kind of atmosphere I want if I'm going to go to the fucking club, which I barely do, but every once in a while, sure. It's just the perfect club anthem. It's just the perfect representation of what it's trying to do. Like on a technical level, it's just nailing everything that it's like intended to do. I can't argue with the quality of that. Usher's killing it. Ludacris is just like the ultimate hype man. There's a reason that he was on like the feature of every song in like the mid to late 2000s. Yeah.
So Lil Jon is kind of like spinach. If you're forced to have them as a kid, you won't appreciate them as an adult. Because Lil Jon as a kid, I was just like, oh, he's like this wild and crazy guy that kind of like makes okay songs. But then going back to it as an adult, it's like, man, this guy just makes killer fucking beats. And that's kind of what he's been about from the get-go. And I think once you have that understanding of what he is as an artist, it's like, okay, I can actually like I can appreciate what you were going for in this. When I think of this song, I think of the 19-year-old version of me just getting drunk off of like shitty beers, doing shots of like Di Serono of all things, and then actually getting to the club and like having whiskey sour in your hand, but like it's like the really bad like bar lime mix, and you're just like, yeah, you're mindlessly dancing while you're ultimately just waiting to go for your next smoke break.
Cody, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to find the thing. Yeah. Listen, can I ask a real quick question? How many songs on the list have this lyric? If you hold your head steady, I'm gonna milk the cow.
I don't think that there is another one
I'm gonna
on.
guarantee one. I'll go one further than Brooklyn. He was like some things. I just remember cheap liquor to the nth degree. Like I remember like watermelon pucker for a change because I went to the Rome party and my heart still has not recovered. But holy shit, no song can ever like bring back those days and almost make you veer off a road. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're not going back down that path. Yeah, I just remember sitting in a party and making my own mixed drinks from shit that should be mixed and trying to pass it off as good. Yeah.
I have a nomination for the worst things that you can mix for like just a highball or a cocktail. Somebody, my best friend mixed this at a prom party, and I'll never forget it. It was Bread G2 and Captain Morgan white rum. It was the worst combination I've ever had, and like those are pretty two tame ingredients by themselves.
I don't even know what that first ingredient is. I've never heard of it.
G2?
No, never heard of it.
Like, oh, so there's like,
Gatorade.
so
okay.
like, yeah, Gatorade, and like G2 is kind of like watered down Gatorade.
Okay, no, we're moving on before I throw up mouth. Number 219 is Africa by Toto.
That's what I did when I looked at this list the second time. When
Number 407 on
bust
my
the
list.
reins. Go ahead.
388 on Brooklyn. Brooklyn had it higher, so he gets to talk first.
I love the keyboard solo in this. I think that's the part that I'm like, oh yeah, like this is a pretty song. That is like that moment is buried beneath all of like the meme worthiness of the song. Like I hear the doves cry out in the night. Like and just the descent of the drums going into the chorus is gonna take a lot to drive me away from you. Man, this got killed to death, but I still like hearing it on the radio. So I think that's what like this endures. It's gone through a lot. It's kind of like the cockroach of music.
So having listened to it again recently, lyrically, it's not great. This probably should have been lower on my list. It is basically a white guy trying to romanticize Africa, obviously never having been there before. So in that regard, hasn't aged great. However, instrumentation-wise and production-wise, this song just sounds fantastic. The little flutters of like maybe a woodwind instrument. It's probably a synthesizer, but it's
it absolutely is a synth, but it would just be like the woodwind. It'd be the woodwind setting with like a little bit of reverb.
Yeah, exactly. Like little things like that, I think were just like really smart touches. So yeah, it sounds great, even though lyrically it's not great. Let's go to Cody on this one. Get his thoughts on if he's.
What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? This song is just a meme, isn't it? Like,
but this is better than Proud Mary, though, right?
I don't believe you should be on this podcast anymore. Fuck are we? I don't. It came on. I was like, but it's like, no. 407. Okay. You're still. It just shouldn't have made your. I don't believe it should be on the top 500.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I will agree that it should.
But with the skin tone of both of you gentlemen, I understand why Africa is on this list.
I'm translucent.
Yeah, you go outside blind car from
the okay, moving on to number 218 on our list. Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. I had this at 484. Brooklyn had this at 309. So Brooklyn,
You had this at 484. How dare you, sir?
I thought I was gonna be on the right side of history with this
Time
one.
after time slaps.
Okay,
Go
let's
ahead.
have Cody start actually, because obviously he loves this song more than I do.
I'm cool with
So
that.
this was the song last week. I said I just heard like a lot of renditions of the song. I do have a musical topic to bring up after this call, just real quick from both of you. But this song like was playing. Somebody was karaokeing it. I think in a bar, like on a TikTok or on some video I was listening to. I was like, this song is so good. Like, why don't I listen to Cyndi Lauper's time after time? Like, I think it's a great song. I think overall, like, one, good message, that's important. Two, like her vocals are super strong throughout the song, and I think it plays so well. Like, you suck, Bar. 484. You had Africa higher. Jackass.
I agree that should not have happened. Shut up, Mr. Producer Man.
I like him.
I agree that Brooklyn, we're gonna save you last for this one because I gotta defend myself right now. I agree that this should be higher than Africa. Looking back on it, it's got this like almost dreamy atmosphere to it that's so comforting. It's like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it's like drifting through the sands of time, the way that this song sounds. And it's such a smart move to make the production as like dreamy and luscious as it is, to balance with like the lyrics of this song. Yeah, I think it's a great song. I still don't think that it deserves to be anywhere higher than like maybe the low 400s. And by low, I mean like 401, 402, and stuff like that. But it's a great song. Brooklyn, though, you're up.
Yeah, so this went up whenever I started going back to open mic. A good friend of mine had been covering this and really kind of getting the beauty out of it, or getting like the haunting kind of beauty out of it, because this is kind of like a breakup song. You get, especially when you get into like that third verse of like, after my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. And then probably my like favorite line in the song, secret stolen from deep inside, and the drum beats out of time, where it's just like you don't really kind of feel like yourself. I really like the chorus. There's a lot of kind of drive to it. Like, if you're lost, you can look, you will find me time after time, especially when you get into those last times where she's repeating, if you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. And just kind of like sends off on that one. I think this is where 80s got it right. Like, just the right amount of synth. The guitar has like a nice little effect. Like, for some reason, they decided to really clean up a lot of the guitar in the 80s, which is weird, because in the 90s they were like wah pedals, effects, everything. But yeah, I like the 218 ranking for this. Is it a tad high? A little bit. But yeah, I think 309 is average, maybe even a little bit too low for the standard.
Okay. I'm moving on to number 217, the second song to make our combined list that was not on any version of the Rolling Stone list. Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey. I had it at 312. Brooklyn had it at 476. This song is just super sweet. I think that there's just like a very lovely element to this song. I think Mariah Carey's vocals are just so delightful, and they're just like, it's hard to describe, but it's very pleasant to listen to with this instrumentation and these lyrics. I love the bounce that like the piano has in this. It's just like a really great groove. And just lyrically, it's a very sweet, charming song that like, it's a great like wedding song and things like that, like prom song. What's so funny about that?
It's, well, like, this is a great wedding song, But even with Mariah Carey's own discography, she has "We Belong Together," and like the music video, I think is a wedding in itself.
Yeah, but a wedding that doesn't go the way that everyone was thinking it did.
True.
So got you
In
there.
that defense, though, people still use "One" by U2 as a wedding song.
Oh, so wrong. Brooklyn, go ahead.
Yeah. One of actually my favorite aspect of this song is something that you normally see in like old time country and people don't really do a ton of anymore is key changes. And when they do the key change in this, it's just so satisfying. I love the production in this, in that basically like anytime the backing vocals come in, it kind of the piano needs to kind of like unlock the door almost in a way where it's like it establishes like, all right, this is the sound, and then it lets them have this kind of like light breathy quality to it. I love the low register that Mariah has. Like everybody kind of goes to like her high falsetto, but she has a really good like low supporting voice that really does well for these kind of high harmonies that everybody else is doing. And then yeah, I love the title of this. I just think that's a great sort of sway. It's perfect like 90s R&B.
Cody, what are your thoughts? Does it belong on the list? Should it be off the list?
I think maybe 217 is correct. Like, I think this song is really good. It's a song that I've forgotten about for a long time, but listening to it again, this song is awesome. Like, it is such a bop, and her voice is just so great. Like, I think we all respect Mariah's voice, but like over the years, the diva and like her attitude towards things kind of dampened everything. But when you go back to early Mariah, her voice is like nobody else. Like she was one of the top vocals, and this song, how it's like constructed, it just sounds so big. Like how everything just comes together. I love it. Like absolutely. That just subtle beat that they have going through it, I'm just like, and then when she cuts in, I've listened to the song a lot this week on top of every other song. This has been the one I keep going back to.
Nice.
Yeah. I do a great Mariah impression in the car. You will never see it, but it's great.
at the $400
Patreon level.
That's a little bit. That's just a little bit. There we
go. Somebody's gonna find this and they're just gonna give us like $2,000 and it's like do all the things that you actually said.
Show it.
And we will do it for that much money. Moving on to number 216 on the list. Oh, having just heard Cody say what he said about this and having this one be one slot higher. Very curious. Suzanne by Leonard Cohen. I had it at 414. Brooklyn had it at 366. So Brooklyn gets a start.
Man, okay. So this song has me at a bit of a crazy take. This could go really well or really bad. I think that Leonard Cohen is a sharper writer than Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan has more quantity, but Leonard Cohen has better quality in terms of songwriting. I just think he's like the line that really got to me was the one that says like Jesus was a sailor. And it's like I love those kind of like, it's like almost like cutting down where it's like, oh, like this savior person, like he was just kind of like an everyman. And I love his kind of delivery on it. A lot of his songs are very kind of like poetic. I also could have thrown on like Marianne, is another kind of one in this style. And I just think the production kind of fits the delivery as well, because it kind of strides, it goes like up 3 notes and then goes back down. So it kind of feels like you're like swaying on like a swing chair on your front porch, like while you're kind of listening to this song.
I think that there's just a delicateness that really helps benefit the song. There's a delicate sincerity that Leonard Cohen's vocals has in this song. I think a lot of people think of Leonard Cohen's voice as it would become later in his career, but here, like being one of the first songs that he ever released, his voice just sounds so beautiful and rich. Um, and I also love the lyrics. Some of the little things in there, like she feeds you oranges from China, just like the little details like that, just like really build the story of the song. Yeah, it's just a really beautiful sounding and beautiful written song. Cody, what do you think about Suzanne?
What do you think?
He
He
hates this
hates the
song.
song.
Like, I had to stop and look because I thought this was Bob Dylan's like cousin.
It's the Hallelujah guy.
Oh, that you're okay. There it is. There, we're connected. No. Like him and Bob Dylan are related. I'm pretty sure. Or he wanted to be Bob Dylan. I'm not sure, but they sound so close. Like, well, man, they speak. I fuck it. How do they make money on this shit? Like, I can into a band and see what I get.
Okay.
Billie Eilish, you know. Go ahead.
Okay.
We got 5 more.
5 more.
Okay.
Let's move on to number 215. Lust for Life by Iggy Pop. 329 for me. 447 for Brooklyn. This song is just fucking nuts. The fact that this was written on a ukulele first is just crazy to me. This is Iggy Pop and David Bowie. And just like the raucous drums, that's like a weird mix of rock and roll and Motown, is such a cool drum line. And that guitar that comes in, and it's just like it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it kind of explodes. This song is about being on a downward spiral, specifically from heroin. And there's that one line. I can't remember exactly what the line is, but yes, I've done it in my ear. And now knowing like the context of what the song's about, holy shit! Like this goes to some dark fucking places. But the instrumentation is just so infectious and it takes you along on this like ride from hell in a sense. And I think that it's just like a brilliant dichotomy. Yeah, this song just fucking slaps. And the fact that people, once again, this is one of those songs that people don't know what it's about, but they use it for like the worst things, like a Royal Caribbean cruise line commercial. It's just fucking nuts.
Yeah, so this is Andrew was already talking about a very simplistic sort of beat, and the one thing I want to kind of explain and to kind of elaborate on is the kind of the chord structure and how it kind of builds tension by going out a little bit different. So it has like this. So it's AGD and like those are all kind of in the same branch, but then you get into the like this part, like he goes to the D, but then he introduces this E and then goes into the G and then back into the E. And I think it just does a really cool job of like taking you out, then going back into the familiar sound, then taking you back out again, just to kind of reintroduce you. It's a way, just a way of kind of keeping it fresh. In a pop song, I think is always really cool. A lot of people try to mimic it, but I think this is a good job.
Cody, can you hear us? Great. What are your thoughts on Lust for Life?
Let me put this into movie terms. Okay. This is a song I respect more than I like.
Okay.
Like, I get why people like this song and, like, how fun it is for some people and, like, how it's constructed and where it is. Like, that makes sense to me. It will never be one of my favorites, but I have no issue with it being on the list. Maybe a little high. Maybe even, like, where Bars has it on his would make sense to me, personally. Like, when it came out, I'm like, this makes sense. For me, it's not, but I 100% respect it.
Fair enough. I completely understand where you're coming from because I use that phrase all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on then to number 214 on our combined list. No Diggity by Blackstreet, Dr. Dre, and Queen Pen.
We sure we don't want to do the Pitch Perfect version of No Diggity? Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I respect that version more than I like that version. So I had it at 458. Brooklyn had it at 310. So Brooklyn gets the start.
Yeah, I think this is only second to the Humpty Dance as the best like hip hop one hit wonder. I think Dr. Dre having that opening verse really kind of sets the tone, but then you get into this very swank sort of delivery of like "Shorty get down, good lord, baby got him open all over town," and it just has like this kind of pop and lock and like where they're kind of emphasizing certain words in it throughout, and then you get into Queen Pen's verse, and I think that is where is it? Catching Feelings is a no. Let me tell you how it goes. No, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, because that's my peeps. Emily rolls deep, flying first class from New York City to Black Street. I think that has some really cool elements in it, like where they kind of cut out for a little bit, like the almost like the record, where it has like the boom boom boom. But yeah, I think it's it's really cool. There's a lot of like ADHD things to kind of keep you paying attention to it. But yeah, just that very catchy chorus. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I like to back it up.
So I think I may be wrong, internet. I'm going to admit that right now, but I'm almost positive that the piano used in this song is a sample. And I think that is
that's right.
I think it is such a fantastic use of a sample because that groove is just a solid foundation for this song. I think that everyone gives a tier performance on this song, and I love the structure of it because you got Dre and he's doing his thing, and he basically introduces Blackstreet, and then Blackstreet completely takes over the song with that chorus and the fantastic verses, and then you get into Queen Pen, just kind of closing it out. Yeah, I think there's not really much else I can say about this song that Brooklyn already hasn't, but that groove is just so fucking killer.
I'll say one more thing. I think 459 is just a tad too low. I think it has to be inside of the 450. Because 450 and below is kind of like these are the songs like Cody said. I respect but don't appreciate like I do the other 450.
I disagree. Cody.
459 is too low. It needs to be up. I believe like No Diggity is great. Like, yes, it's got more play over the years, so it's a little bit overplayed at this point of a version of it. Especially, I guess it's not overplayed. The No Diggity part is overplayed, but it's a great song. Love the song. I think 214 is really good. Like, I think that's a little too high. I think where Brooklyn have it is kind of perfect. So I would say 300s or close to 290s would be the range.
Man, why didn't we have it where we got points for who had?
Yeah, why didn't we just do it a betting on this side of
fucking
it?
Damn it!
Well,
why you don't do a secondary bet where who I agree with more on the number would be an interesting spot. We can implement that next week. Just saying.
No, I'm satisfied with where we're at. I already have the playlist ready for Brooklyn. So
I mean, this would be a good week to not count because these are like bottom of the barrel that kind of qualify to get above the other ones.
we'll see where we go from here. Moving on though to song number 3 that was not on either version of the Stones list that Brooklyn and I both had on our list. Undone the Sweater Song by Weezer. I had it at 332. Brooklyn had it at 436. I think I have this maybe like a tad too high, but I would still have it in like the low 300s. What I really love about this song, though, aside from the distorted, dissonant ending of this song instrumentally, which I love. The thing I love most about this song is how the weirdly like spoken dialogue of this song plays perfectly with the sung parts. I personally think that this song is about like social anxiety. Just because if I was Rivers Cuomo and I was surrounded by people who were saying all the things that are being like said, like talked in this song, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing here? Just get me the fuck out of here. I can't take this anymore. And becoming like unwound and unstrung. I think that it's just like a really great guitar riff that he completely, let's be honest, that he completely stole from a Metallica song, but like still it works. And yeah, I think it's just like a really well crafted song about the subject that I think that it's about.
Yeah, so I'm not confident about this going over to Cody, because you're talking about like spoken words during songs, and the last time we talked about a song that spoke during the song, he compared it to the Wiggles and was talking about fruit salad. But I agree with you, Andrew. Then the subject matter of the song, I think is great. My favorite part of this is the round aspect of it. Like, I don't want to destroy your sweater. And it's just them like, let's be friends and just walk away. Watch, and it's like, watch me unravel. I'll soon be naked in your Superman skivvies. I just think it's great. And then like you get into that last I've come undone, and the harmony that they add in there is just so sharp and biting. I agree the kind of the descent of the sound of the guitar. But the very ominous sort of guitar at the start, like the kind of the picking of the 3 notes in it. And then yeah, I like whenever they do the when in songs when it's like they have the octave and then they have it below, and they do that at the same time just to kind of like give this little channel, I guess, where it doesn't really like, it's not a full sound, but it still kind of fills it
out. Cody, what are your thoughts on the best Weezer song, in my opinion, Undone the Sweater Song?
This isn't Lost in the Wood. I wish I liked Weezer more.
Same.
I just never really gotten into them. I respect them, but I don't love like all their music.
which is weird considering how close you and Boatman are for taste.
In movies, calm down. Don't ever put that on me. Music is not the same. I didn't love it overall. Didn't enjoy it as much. I would definitely, it needs to be on the later half of the list. You put it at 332. You're insane. Insane. But yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but it was like kind of an indifferent view. Again, it's one of those bands I wish I liked more than I do, but I don't.
Fair enough, but it's still here.
It is. Shame.
So, moving on to 212. Umbrella by Rihanna featuring Jay-Z. I had it at 328. Brooklyn had it at 439. So the producers of this song built this off of a sample of the drums they found off of, I think, GarageBand. They literally found this on like an Apple Music thing and were like, that's a good bass line for a song. And basically just like built this amazing pop song off of it. I think Rihanna sounds incredible on here. I love some of these lyrics, especially in the chorus of "When the sun shines, we'll shine together. Know that I'll be here forever." Um, I think it's just like a really great song about standing by people in like hard times, especially someone that you love. Um, yeah, I think it's just like a really tight, incredibly produced, well sung, well written song.
Uh, yeah. As we were kind of listening to this and like um when you're making the list here, I always like to have kind of like a one sentence thing of like why this would be on here. I think the lyrics kind of grew onto me. Like you were saying in the chorus, like when the sunshine will shine together, told you I'd be here together. Took an oath, I'm gonna stick it out to the end. I think that's a really cool line. You get into the bridge of this as well. Like you can run into my arms. It's okay. Don't be alarmed. Come into me. I know we were talking about it with Kelly and Adelaide. Postmodern Jukebox kills this song. They do a really cool like 1930s sort of swing time cover of it, and it really kind of accents a lot of the lyrics. Another great thing about this is that it needs a hi-hat. That's all it needs, and you recognize the song immediately. That open hi-hat, and then it just closes, which is great because there's a meme about also another drum sound that people are like, once they hear it, oh, turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. You're muted.
I don't care. Maybe I chose to be muted. Cody?
I can't hear this song without thinking of Tom Holland and Pouring Rain.
Fair.
He did lip sync and killed this performance of it, and that's all I can think of since. I really enjoy him. I really enjoyed Rihanna in general. I don't think she gets enough credit for how good she is. Like, I think she's better than Beyonce.
I might agree with
you. You guys are fucking crazy.
No, we're not crazy. It's factual. If you put her music against Beyonce's solo, I'm going to always go with Rihanna. Like,
depends on the Beyonce song, but
Irreplaceable versus Take a Bow. I'll take a bow. Work.
No, fuck that song.
Because you don't like to work. No, I'm just kidding. 328, fine. I think it's crazy. Like, it's kind of weird because these are some of those songs that I don't expect to make a top 500 because it's been like such in pop culture. But the Beehive, Rihanna's better.
Okay, well, moving on to the last song in this section of the list, number 211, Spoonful by Howlin' Wolf. I had it at 395. Brooklyn had it 370. I think this is the first one where we both had it in the 300s.
Yeah.
And you had it higher, so you get to start.
Which is crazy. But I love the precision of this because I think in blues, it's really easy to kind of have like the swanky sort of feel as like you're walking into the bar. But you have like especially get to that spoonful part, and it's like the guitar and the bass and the piano, I think, as well. They're all hitting it at the same time, and I think it just kind of really doubles down on that beat and how good it is throughout. I don't like lyrically. I think there isn't really much to kind of explore in it, but I think that's also kind of the great part of it. I talked before on the show where this sound can be almost stagnant, but it's weird because I don't really kind of feel that way with this.
This song would have been a lot higher for me if I was remaking this list now, like a lot higher for me. Just Howlin' Wolf on this song sounds fucking awesome. He's one of those voices that I can understand if you're not necessarily a fan of it. However, I think that his voice sounds fucking awesome on this song. I'm going to use this word again because I think that it really fits for this song. There's a tension. There's a tension on this song. And if you don't step on the high wire correctly, you're definitely gonna fucking fall. I just really love the guitar in this. Yeah, it is just. I've had the melody of this song stuck in my head almost all day. The whole that could be a spoonful of diamonds,
Oh, that
could be a
spoon.
spoonful of gold, just a little spoon of your precious love to satisfy my soul. That graveliness in his voice combined with these lyrics is just like so interesting and dynamic and unique, but just like really well done.
I think in the mixing of it as well, I think they do a really good job of the piano because like you have the guitar and the bass that sound they're kind of in the middle, but they have this raw sound to it because they're plucking in and whatnot. But I think they did a really good job of having the piano sound just a little bit higher. It sounds almost toy like in a sense, but I think that really works for the sound that they're going for.
All right, but let's go to Cody, see if he agrees that it should be on the list, if it needs to go away. What's going on, Cody? What are your thoughts?
I don't know how I feel about this song, personally.
I will say it had to grow on me when I first heard it.
It's kind of in your face. So, like when you started, and I get Howlin' Wolf makes sense, but it's a little bit like I was like, oh, why are you yelling at me? But overall, I ended up enjoying the vibe of the song, so it wasn't like a terrible choice for the list. 3's not 2's crazy. 3's crazy. I'd put maybe 4.
Okay,
if you're gonna put it,
it's one.
But you basically put it at 4, so
yeah. I will say though, as I said, I think it would be higher on my list now, and I think that it's a song where if you give it some more time to marinate, I think it will work.
Ooh, I gotta figure out what the last song is.
Oh, this is the last song in this section.
Oh, this is the last song. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, with that being said, Cody, what do you think so far?
I think when you guys came together, lists came together, shows the weakness in the structure. Because but it's the same thing with list. It makes sense for a ranking show, right? If you're both going to have it, it should take precedence over what somebody else has. So it's the mashup of both of yours. This is your list coming together. So there are glaring weaknesses because Brooklyn had his number 1 song. You had your 3 things that got slashed while, Yeah by Usher is here. You put it there because you're I think it belongs on the list, but do I believe it belongs in the 2s? I think you're going to get more of that as we get closer. But I think you two on your music taste will, when you get the top 100, top 125, I think there will be a great through line that makes sense for everybody. Yeah, you may have had it upper, and this may be pretty close, but I think it will be cohesive near the end. I think it will make sense.
Yeah. Well, let's see if the next section of the list does that. I actually just sent it to you, Cody. Let's get some first thoughts.
I'm gonna cry. Okay. So it shows me 4 album artists. So I saw one. I'm but we'll see where we're at here. Okay. If it's gonna load, it's not gonna load.
Not gonna load. Okay.
It's gonna load now. Okay. Oh, okay. I just saw one song. Okay. Oh. Okay. I believe we are better than this week for sure.
Okay. So that.
Oh, there's some fire.
Interesting.
Okay. There is some meh, but overall there's less meh. So I'm pleased for next week. I won't be too sad. Okay. I'll just have a question. How's your playlist coming for old Brooklyn?
Oh, I think I have it done. I'm just gonna see if I need to tinker with it or not.
You'll have to release it on the show to let people the week before it airs, the episode we record before it's gonna drop, which it might be already past. Whatever the case may be. We'll have to figure out what's on the list. I want to see his live reaction. It'll be great.
Live reaction. Interesting. Okay, maybe we'll do that next week. So, that being said, This has been Off Our Stones, an affiliate of the video store. Speaking of which, buy our shit. But for Cody, for Brooklyn, and for myself, Andrew, this has been Off Our Stones. Keep on rocking.
Drive on safe.
Time! Yeah!
Man.